our next speaker was meant to be Miss Wilna de Bruyn, who is part of SAIT, South African Institute of Taxation. But Miss Wilna de Bruyn is also the head of education at the South African Institute of Taxation, which is SAIT. Her focus at SAIT is the progression pathways from scholar, student, and article clerk to joining the profession or professional membership rather society. She is highly motivated and a team member, benefiting from experience in the competitive professional body and event management services industries. She obtained her PG DIP in business and management in 2023 and holds a taxation technician diploma. Ms. Wilna de Bruyn is passionate about quality assurance and innovation without the professional body and education landscape. Unfortunately, as I said, that we do have a bit of a technical glitch. Ms. Wilna is not with us today, but there is a presentation that she sent through, and her beautiful and lovely colleague, Ms. Kim Mthethwa, is here to assist with answering the questions at the end of the presentation. So if you would kindly allow us, my technical team is ready to play out the presentation for you, and Ms. Kim will be here to assist with taking questions. So, colleagues, without further ado, Ms. Wilna's presentation.
My name is Wilna de Bruyn. I am the head of education at the institution, and I'd like to take you through a bit of more about us as an institution and what we can offer you as a student. I'm going to switch off my camera and then I'll take you through.
Production, I'm so sorry.
About a career in tax, who we are, and then ultimately student membership.
Not very clear.
So we are a professional body. This might be something foreign and new to you, so I'd like to explain it just slightly. A professional body is an organization that oversees knowledge, skills, and conduct of people in the same profession or the same occupation. So if you commit yourself to taxation as your industry, then you should belong to a professional body that has that same commitment. Like I said, we are the professional body for taxation, the South African Institute of Taxation, and we are committed to that industry. A designation ultimately is a title that you can get, and you can only get this title if you belong to the professional body. So this title will then signify everybody's role and really their designation or membership level within the professional society. So depending on what title you have, your colleagues and your clients and so forth would know what is your skills and your capability within this industry of tax. Just a little bit more about who we are. We are the leading professional body in tax and within South Africa with the most tax practitioners belonging to SAIT. Now, if you want to do someone's tax affairs, it's a legal requirement that you have a tax practitioner number, and we have the authority delegated from SARS to us to award these tax practitioner numbers. So we also play quite a leading role in shaping the legislation and so forth. So we're committed to tax as an industry. You might then want to know, how do you become a member of SAIT? What is the criteria for you to join? And really there's two things. Firstly, you have to have a certain academic qualification. And then secondly, you need to have a couple of years of experience. And we'll get into a bit more detail on that. But it's determined by two factors, qualification and working experience. Now, we have various membership levels and designations that we offer. We start off at the tax technician practitioner level, and this is available to anybody who has their NQF 6 qualification and 3 years experience in tax, well, specifically 3-year articles. Then we also have the tax advisor, it's available to anybody with their NQF 8, essentially having their postgraduate qualification or honors degree, and then again having done 3 years worth of articles. So as you can see, any of the other designations is available after many more years of experience. It's only if you do tax articles that you can become a member within 3 years of working. We have 2 qualifications as well. The first qualification is the tax technician, and that is on NQF level 6. And then the second qualification is tax professional on NQF level 8. Now, these qualifications are developed in such a way that you can study towards them while working. It's designed for working individuals. You would study part-time and then do your articles full-time. Both levels can be achieved in that way. If you have a qualification on these 2 levels already, specifically in tax, then there is no need for you to duplicate and do our qualifications as well. So you just speak to us, let us know what you've got in terms of qualification, and then we can advise you which route to take, whether you need to do another qualification or whether the one you have is sufficient. The moment you become a member of SAIT, there's various benefits that we offer our members, and here's just a highlight of them. Firstly, we've got the tax helpline where you can submit technical tax queries, and depending on the tax type, you know, whether it's a company's tax or individual tax, we then have subject matter experts that help our members in responding to queries. Right, then we also offer webinars, which is training content to our members, helping them to stay up to date and relevant to what's happening in the industry. We also have a few publications. Some of them are monthly, some are bi-monthly, and this also helps you to stay up to date and make sure your knowledge is refreshed. We have a LexisNexis online search engine, and then we do weekly highlights, mailers to our members, saying them what's currently happening in SARS and so forth. This slide over here talks to the academics. So if there's any academics present in the room, you know, lecturers or head of the department, please get in touch with us. We want to highlight your skills. You have already committed to tax as the industry, and if you want to contribute to our assessments or to the magazines or speak at our events and so forth, please let us know, and we would love for you to get involved in our professional body. Now, how do you become a tax advisor? I like to speak about the tax advisor because that is the ultimate goal. It is equal to a chartered tax not a chartered tax advisor, sorry, a chartered accountant, you know, CA and a TA. TA is really just for those who committed to tax in their working life and in their qualification. So the route to become a tax advisor would be to firstly do your honors, so your postgraduate diploma or your honors on NQF level 8, and it had to include tax modules. So if you do your LLB or your accounting honors or your tax honors, it had to include at least 2 tax modules, then that would be considered entry, or sufficient for entry to the program. Then more importantly is you have to secure a job. If you have secured a job through SAIT, then you can start your articles, and that ultimately then leads to membership. Articles is the duration of 3 years. We would review you over the 3 years. We would do performance reviews and visits with the company, and we just make sure that you get the correct and sufficient work experience to develop and accomplish certain competencies. Once you're done with your article, then you get admission to write our board exam, which is in the 3rd year. And if you're done with that board exam, your employer should sign you off and discharge you from your articles, and then you become a tax advisor, TASA member with SAIT. So very exciting how that journey works. But as you can see, there's a couple of things that needs to fall into place. Firstly, your commitment to tax as your industry in terms of what you study, and then securing the job. Right. Then if I go to the next slide, this just shows you a couple of the firms or organizations that offer tax articles. There's many more, and they can be seen on our website. But also, if you do come across a company that is willing to employ you and give you exposure within tax, please get in touch. Please tell us, I'm working at ABC company and they're not listed on your company profiles. Can we get them approved for tax articles? And then we would have a discussion with them. We want to recognize the work that you're doing so it can lead to membership with us ultimately, and that you can do articles and have membership within 3 years of doing starting your job. Now, we want to assist students as much as possible, and we do this through a student membership. Now, student membership is only available, it might not be necessarily for you yet, but it is in your pipeline and for your future. So when you have committed to an NQF 8 qualification, your postgraduate diploma or your honors, then you speak to us. The moment you're in your final year of study and your qualification includes tax, then you become a student member. Our goal is during this final year of studies that we want to connect you to the employers. We want to have you secure your first job for when you're done with that honors or postgraduate, the very next year you start your job and completing your tax articles. So if this is not available to you right now, please bear this in mind, because when you're in that final year and you've committed to taxation as your industry of choice, then join us and we facilitate you getting a job. Like I've mentioned, the benefits of student membership at this stage is that there's this recruitment portal where we connect employers and students together. We advertise tax vacancies to you directly. We have a physical student conference every year, as well as a virtual career readiness webinar every year. And then you also get access to our publications during this year. So you can start basing your studies and your research and so forth on some of our publications. Now, the next slide is leaving us your detail and then joining student membership. So please don't join student membership if you're not yet eligible. Don't scan this QR code. If you are eligible, however, and you are in this final year of your studies, it's on NQF level 8, then feel free. Feel free to scan and leave us your detail and we will be in touch. If you have any queries and if you're uncertain whether you can join student membership now or what does your pathway look to become a student member, then this is our email address at the bottom. Feel free to send us an email and we gladly explain the process and give you a personalized pathway to becoming a tax advisor and a tax professional of the future. Thank you very much. That was just a brief discussion, but we hope to get in touch with you soon and wishing you all the best with your studies. Goodbye.
To add to the presentation that Wilna did, that, apart from tax advisor, which she did mention that it is on the same level as a chartered accountant, that we also have our logbook does cater, our articles logbook does cater to a specialized designation, which you did see on the slides, which is the transfer pricing specialist. Should, of course, somebody work with an international company, and most of our international companies look towards the transfer pricing specialist designation, which also requires an NQF level 8 qualification, should one be qualified to do that designation for the articles.
Hi, I have a diploma in accounting sciences. Do I qualify for NQF 6 tax technician, and will I get articles for 3 years? Yes, that is the question.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. I see on my side it's Nogubonga that asked that question. So if you have a diploma in accounting sciences, and it's not necessarily also just accounting, you could have a diploma in taxation, in accounting, or even law, which has tax module, then you would be able to qualify to do the tax technician 3 years of the articles. But of course, as Wilna did mention, that you would need to secure a job within the taxation industry, and of course within one of our approved workplace providers if you don't have a job already. But of course, also you could apply to perhaps become a student member on a tax technician basis, so that we could connect you to the relevant employees. But I also just would like to also say you are more than welcome to attend the student conference that's going to be face to face next month. It's more of a student networking event to connect the students with the employers. Some of our approved workplace providers will be there at the conference. So yes, you would be able to qualify for the 3 years of the articles, but you would need to get a job within the taxation industry.